Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. Today I've got a Kershaw Cryo folding knife on the table. This comes in a couple varieties. This is the regular one, the gray titanium nitrocarbide coated. It's kind of a PVD coating. And the whole thing is steel. The blade, or the body, is 410 stainless. And the blade is a very complicated sounding 8CR13 MOV for the steel, which is not necessarily a high-end steel. It's one of the higher end of the inexpensive steels, but it's nowhere near the territory of something like an S30V or something like that. But the price on these, the MSRP is between $60 and $70, but you can routinely get them significantly less expensive than that. I think I bought this one for under $30 quite a while back. So they're inexpensive knives that are made to a really nice high quality. But they're not using very high-end, super high-end steels, and they're not coming at a $150, $200, $300 price tag either. There's a lot of features built into this for that price. We'll start with it's 6.5 inches long in the open position. It's got a 2 3/4 inch blade, and when it's closed, it's 3.75 inches long. So it's a nice small pocket knife size. Now, as you're looking at this one, you may see various discoloration and spots. This has been carried daily. This has been used heavily. This is open boxes. This is cut cardboard up to collapse it. So it's gone through a lot of use, yet it's still holding up well. The clip is a 4-position clip. You can have it left or right, top or bottom. So you can have it point up, point down, whatever you want. I prefer to have it in the pocket so that when I reach into the pocket to grab it, on the left-hand pocket, so this would be in the left-hand pocket, when I reach in to grab it, my finger's right on the flipper, and as I pull it, I can flip it. This flipper is what they call their Speedsafe system. And you'll notice it opened very, very quickly, and it almost, if you weren't watching closely, you could have got the impression it was an automatic knife. Well, it's not. It is spring-assisted, but its bias is closed. And what that means is, once you have it past the tipping point, it wants to be closed. And you have to really pull on it to get it to open. Once it's opened, it will lock open with this little arm. And you'll notice it's kind of robust. So it's a significant surface area that is holding this knife in the locked open position. So it's not going to collapse. And I thought I had cleaned this well, but I see a lot of pocket lint in there. But as I mentioned, this thing is getting carried daily for quite a while. I've had this one for quite a while. I've got a couple of these actually. They're useful for travel, they're useful for daily carry, and overall they're a good quality knife. Now they are made in China, as you see here, and here you can see some of the discoloration where it's been used, but it is not that it came poorly manufactured. So Kershaw you can see on the one side. Let me turn this around the other way. You can read the model number 1555 Ti, and Hinderer is the designer of this. This is Kershaw, and Kershaw makes a wide variety of knives. This is a little bit on the less expensive end of the spectrum of knives they make, but it really does serve a purpose well. With the shorter blade, in many jurisdictions this fits into the common pocket knife territory. The fact that it biases closed prevents it being an automatic knife in most places. And of course, as with anything that's related to jurisdictions and their judgment of it, we're not lawyers or law enforcement, so you got to check for yourself whether or not this fits into those categories where you are. But everywhere I've traveled, this has fit into that common pocket knife category, which can be useful when you're traveling, especially outside of your own home state. The clip is durable and solid. It's got a nice lift on it here, so it slides easily into the pocket. And you can see there's some various serrations on different points of it where you would grab it. And a nice deep well here, so it stays in your hand well. You can also open and manipulate it with these thumb studs, but what I find with those is that the bias towards close is fairly strong, so that it's kind of cumbersome to try to use the thumb stubs to grab it. I find it's much easier to use the flipper, but you can open it either way you want. There is nothing you have to do to open it, so if you want to use the thumb studs to just kind of pull it open, you can. There's no release you have to push to open it. But once it is open, you have to push this to the side to release it to be able to close it. So I did that quick so you could see how easy it was to do, but let's do it a little more slowly so you can see it. You'll see that, and I had showed this earlier, where this little arm blocks the knife to lock it in the open position. Using your thumb or whatever, you just kind of push it out of the way, and then move the knife blade just a little bit. And all that does is lock it into position so that you can then push it the rest of the way closed. It operates very smoothly, and you don't need to lubricate it. The coating actually has high lubricity, so it almost acts like a dry lubricant so that the parts move smoothly, and there's a nylon bushing in there as well. I did find one of these after extensive use, the nylon bushings wore, and it started to be a little bit rough to operate it. And that was after it had gotten wet and, you know, all sorts of things. I mean, it had not been treated well because it was being used as a tool. And I found it less expensive to just replace it than mess with trying to fix it. But that was only occurred after an extensive amount of rough use. As small knives go, because it's all stainless, it is a little bit on the heavier side. It's 4.1 ounces, which is not ridiculous. That's by far from being a ridiculous weight. But compared to some of the others, like the Benchmade Mini Griptilian, that's, you know, an ounce and change, it is a little bit on the heavier side. But it does feel solid, and it balances well, so it's not overweight for what you're trying to do with it. Overall, I found it to be a great utility knife, especially for the price that you can get these for. And it's proven reliable. It's put up with quite a bit of heavy use and still holds basically a good-looking knife. And when it's in the pocket, it drops way down in. It'll come out, basically, all you'll see is about that sticking out. So it does kind of just disappear into the pocket. And these holes can be used as lanyard loops as well. So, you know, quite a bit of options on how you actually lay this thing out, how you put it in your pocket, carry it, and use it at a really reasonable price. So make sure you don't forget to like our videos and share them. Check us out on Facebook and Patreon. Thank you for our YouTube and Patreon supporters. We're also on Twitter and Gunstreamer now. Have a great day. Thank you.